which is dedicated to raising awareness to communities, so that people are aware that there are other sexually transmitted infections besides HIV, because I think the focus for the longest time has been on HIV and not on the other sexually transmitted infections. And we can see that the rates of condom use are dropping. So it becomes a big worry, not just for the South African government, but I think for the whole world at large. The fact that people are stopping using condoms because they feel that now there's antiretrovirals that are available for the treatment of HIV. But the other STIs are still out there and people are getting them in buckets. The first thing is that you can pass it on to your partner, because I think that's the important thing, that, and if your partner then, or you have another partner, it can spread quite easily. That's why the rates are so high. But secondly, there's also other repercussions to that. For females, it can sit in your fallopian tubes, block those tubes. So later on in life, when you want to have children, then you are amazed then why you are infertile, because this STI has then created scarring in your fallopian tubes that has resulted in you being unable to have children. So it's the same thing that can happen with men as well, that they will also become infertile. Another reason why it's important to treat STIs is because syphilis can also be transmitted from mother to child. So if the mother is infected, she can pass on the bacteria to a unborn baby. And this can result in the baby being stillborn or having other symptoms when they are born. So this is critical that even women, when they're pregnant, they present at their clinic for booking early so that they can be tested for syphilis, and this can be treated before they deliver their baby. And with syphilis, it's one of the deadliest sexually transmitted infections because it just sits in your body and it can infect your central nervous system. It can infect your whole body without you not being aware of it. So it is important that if you do suspect that you have an STI, you present to your local clinic, you get treatment to avoid all these repercussions. Most of the time, they're asymptomatic. So people will not necessarily know if they have a sexually transmitted infection. And therefore, if they're not using a condom, they're not protecting themselves, and it's easy for them to transmit it to their sexual partner. Especially for women, it is a problem since women, we have a discharge that varies in terms of appearance throughout the period of the month. So most of the time, women will not present at a clinic because they think that the discharge that they have is the normal discharge that they would know. If they do present at the clinic, that is when that the nurse or the clinical practitioner would advise to say that definitely the discharge that you have is abnormal and it could be indicative of an infection. And they can do a speculum examination to look at your cervix and your vagina to see how it looks, and then it would be diagnosed. Going for your annual pap smear is critical for women's health because it allows the doctor to take the pap smear, which actually will be able to see these invisible changes that with your ordinary eye you will not be able to see, or what's happening in your cervix. So it allows for that. But it does not check for gonorrhea, it will not check for chlamydia, it will not check for trichomonas or any of the other STIs that can possibly be there. But what the government of South Africa is also trying to do is to introduce HPV testing. So in conjunction with your annual pap smear, or how many times you do it, then they will also do HPV screening. So then that will also allow us to be able to test for another STI, which is your human papillomavirus. We still have the necessary antibiotics to manage and treat STIs. All we have to do is to be aware, so knowledge is key, and to ensure that you present at your clinic or to your doctor so that it can be identified and treated correctly.